And now we have Mrs. Dr. Mon Imelda Huta Barat to give your opening speech. Thank you. Time is yours, Mrs. Imelda.
Thank you, Monica Poka. Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Imelda.
With respect to Mr. Asep Rohman as Director of PEP Bandung, which currently cannot come for today's webinars. Also to Mr. Teddy as Vice Director, Third of PEP Bandung. Also to Mr. Sunbaek Bang as Deputy Director of Mine Reclamation Corporation, Mireco Korea. Also Ms. Yun Soo Oh as our special lecturer today as International Cooperation Center of Manager of Mireco Korea. And all the lecturers from PEP Bandung, all the participants from Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, also for our students from PEP Bandung and also students from other university. Thank you for coming in this special webinar in PEP Bandung, Polytechnic Energi dan Pertambangan Bandung, or we can say Polytechnic of Energy and Mining, yeah, located in Bandung, Indonesia. Good morning, and thanks God Almighty that today we can come together in special webinar to have a lecture from our counterpart, Mireco Korea, with the theme of occurrence and treatment of acid mine drainage. Yeah, as we know that Indonesia has a lot of mining activities, and especially for mineral sulfide mining, we have an impact of acid mine drainage. So we have to treat and control the problem of acid mine drainage. We have also the regulation control the environmental guidance standard, both from the mineral, both from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, and also from the environmental regulation, both main and local office. Yeah, so we control our acid mine drainage. So I think today it's important for us to learn, yeah, especially for the occurrence of acid mine drainage and also for the treatment. That's the important thing. So I hope, yeah, this lecture will be very important and also helpful for us, yeah, as a lecturer, as students, yeah, as maybe inspector here or staff working in the government. I hope we can gain a lot from the presentation from Ms. Suo. Yeah, we really feel enthusiasm, Ms. Suo, for your presentation. We hope that we can gain a lot from your presentation. So I think so I think we can start for this webinar. Thank you for joining this webinar. Thank you for the committee, yeah, from the student committee that arranged this webinar very well. We have also here the moderator Ilham, yeah, from the mining study program, and also Unika Poka from the metallurgical study program. So I hope both of you and also all the committee can manage this webinar well, yeah, till the end of this session. So thank you for joining this webinar. I officially open the webinar for us, and thank you and have a good and gain a lot from this lecture. Thank you, Onika.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Imelda, for the remarks that have been given. Okay, prior to the main event, let us pray according to our respective beliefs. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please praying begins. Enough. Thank you, everyone. The next event is our core event, guided by Ilham Nur Hakim as moderator from the Mining Technology Study Program, specialized in English. He is very specialized in English language, particularly in the form of his participation on many national province competition along his education journey. And without being said, he is very motivated in self-development. Okay, Ilham, please, time is yours.
Thank you so much, Unico. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Webinar Insight 4.0. Thank you all for finding the time and visiting today's webinar. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Ilham Nur Hakim from Mining Technology Batch 2020. And I'll be responsible for hosting this webinar today as the moderator. I am glad to welcome Ms. Yeon Soo-oh, Master of Science in Earth and Environmental Science, as Manager of International Cooperation Center from Mine Reclamation Corporation, or MIRECO, who will present the topic today. Now I will ask you one question to check if you can see and hear as well. Do you hear me well? Unica, can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you, Ilham.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for responding. Our topic today is occurrence and treatment of acid mine drainage, and the speaker is Ms. Yeon Soo-oh. Before we start, let me explain how you can talk to us during the webinar. If you are wondering and have any questions during the presentation, write them to chat in the Q&A session later. And the format is the name / origin of the institute / the question. The chosen questions will be answered by Ms. Yeon Soo-oh. There will be door prizes for the two best questions. And during this special webinar, we are going to use English for the next 2 hours. So just in case you have some questions, make sure they are in English. You are allowed to use Google Translator or any translator website to help translate the questions as well. There have to be at least 2 questions each batch from batch 2019 and 2020. Now let me tell you a brief resume of Ms. Yeon Soo-oh, Master of Science in Earth and Environmental Science. Ms. Yeon Soo-oh has a great and excellent experience in the mine reclamation field. She is now undertaking as Manager of International Cooperation Center, Mine Reclamation Corporation, MIRECO. The educational background of Ms. Yeon Soo-oh are in 2018, Doctor of Philosophy of Science in Earth and Environmental Sciences in Korea University, 2016, Master of Science in Earth and Environmental Sciences in Korea University, and 2014, Bachelor of Science in Earth and Environmental Sciences, Korea University. Ms. Yeon Soo-oh has a great of beyond words professional career as well. They are research on mine drainage survey and treatment technology and ICP analysis in 2015 to 2018, and then mine reclamation information team GIS system management in 2019 until 2020, and International Cooperation Center from 2021 until present, and also has several amazing additional trainings. They are 2016 certificate in engineer mining hazard prevention reclamation, 2014 certificate in engineer applied geology, and 2014 feature certificate in earth sciences. So without any further ado, let us welcome Ms. Yeon Soo-oh, Master of Science in Earth and Environmental Science. How are you, Miss Yeon-soo?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you?
Great. I'm great. Thank you for asking. So, Miss Yeon-soo, the time is yours.
Oh, yes. But before presentation, I need to share my material.
Yes.
Yeah, it is black book, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
You can start to share the screen.
화면 동작 기술인데요. 됐다. Okay, I will upload my file. Can you see my material?
Yes,
Okay.
great.
Can I start now?
Yes, of course,
Okay.
of course.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Yeonsu Oh, as introduced before, and I'm really glad to have a presentation in this great webinar. Thank you for inviting me, everyone. So today's topic is exit mine drainage, and I'm covering from occurrence to treatment, all of them. So let's start our presentation. I prepared the briefly introduction of me, but MC introduced me very well, so I'm going to introduce myself very briefly. So I'm working in Miracle now, and I studied Earth and Environmental Sciences in Korea University, and my specific major is geology. So I'm studying geology now still, and in my careers in Miracle started from research on mine drainage survey and treatment technology. And I also conducted ICP analysis for heavy metal analysis. And after that, I also managed the GIS system in our corporation. And now I'm in charge of manager of International Cooperation Center. So here are my major researches. So as you can see in the pictures, I had a lot of field survey to investigate the source of mine drainage. And also I conducted various pilot experiments in the field and in the laboratory both. So from the experience of this major research, I'm going to explain what is mine drainage and how it is generated and how to assess how to treat the mine drainage. And also, I will explain some case studies in Miracle. Now, let's begin the presentation. So firstly, the mining activity is very important to make civilization of human beings. Elements from the mining activity are basic material for the convenience and benefit for humans. As you can see in the figure, there are gold, silver, or bronze, etc. And we can make rings, cars, and even in pencils. They are very basic material for our lives. However, during the mining activity, there are a lot of environmental impacts, and we call it mine hazard. The water and soil contamination, ground substance, dust generation, and deforestation are examples. So mine hazards are the dark shadow of resource development. So therefore, we have to find a harmony way to keep both benefits from research development and environmental protection. Here are some types of mine hazards. Water contamination, and you can see the yellow colored precipitation from the mine drainage, and also soil contamination by heavy metal, and mine tailing loss, ground substance, and dust vibration noise during the operation of mining, and after mining, also the deforestation. So let's see how mine hazards are occurred. They are occurred in the processes of mine development and also can cause physical and chemical damages that are really harmful to our environment and human beings. Firstly, ground substance can be generated by underground cavity by mining activity. And also, tailing dust containing heavy metal can be occurred from tailing dump, and mine drainage can be generated from the various ways, from the seepages, from tailing dump, and it can be also generated from underground tunnel. So today we will focus on mine drainage among various hazards. So I investigated the status in Indonesia. Indonesia is important global producer of coal, tin, copper, and gold. Especially, it is world's fifth largest producer and second highest exporter of coal. And in Indonesia, 95% of mine sites are open pit mines, which means surface mine, and have a potential to generate AMD. So here are maps of Indonesia showing the mining activity site. And as you can see in the pictures, you can see open pit mines during and after operation. So then what is mine drainage? Mine drainage has various names to express it. Exit mine drainage, neutral mine drainage, mine water, and mine influenced water. Some of them are expressing the specific chemical statement, but in this presentation, I will use mine drainage for the representative of all the names. So I define mine drainage as water polluted from contact with mining activity or associated with mining. There are various sources of mine drainage: edit, trap, open pit, waste rock piles, and mine tailings, etc. It is generated from this equation. When the sulfide minerals are exposed from the bedrock during or after mining activity, they can react with water and oxygen and producing sulfuric acid with preserving various heavy metals like copper, iron, and manganese. Because of sulfuric acid, the mine drainage can be acidic, and we call it acid mine drainage, AMD. The pictures bottom shows the contaminated mine drainage with copper, iron, and manganese in sequence. The copper makes blue colored precipitation, and iron and manganese can precipitate it as yellow colored and black colored in respect. So there are various criteria to classify mine drainage. The first criteria is where they are occurred. If the mine drainage is generated from the underground or open pit, we call it pit drain. And if water is generated from the seepages in the mine tailing dump or waste rock dump by the infiltration of rainfall, we call it seepage water or seepage mine water. Also, we can classify mine drainage by pH. As you can see, if the mine drainage is below pH 6, we can call it exit mine drainage, and above pH 6 in the area of limestone area, we can call it neutral mine drainage. And in the diagram, the mine drainage is expressed as exit rock drainage. It is because exit rock drainage can be occurred not only in mining area, but also large excavation site or highway construction site. So we call exit rock drainage in the more widely range expression. And also, mine drainage can be divided depending on the ore deposit: core, metal, and non-metal. Core mine drainage usually contains iron, manganese, aluminum, and suspended solid. And its pH condition is relatively low and typically has high volume of discharge. Metal mine drainage usually contain various species such as iron, manganese, zinc, copper, arsenic, etc. Its pH condition is typically low or neutral and has discharge rate with relatively low volume. And lastly, non-metal mine drainage has contaminants such as suspended solid with limestone, silica, or clay mineral. Its pH condition is neutral to high, and its discharge rate is relatively low. So let's see how mine drainage is generated. The important mechanism for mine drainage generation is sulfide mineral oxidation. There are various types of sulfide minerals such as pyrite, marcasite, arsenopyrite, galena, etc. They can be exposed during or after mining activity from the bedrock. Here are the mechanisms for mine drainage formation. The pyrite and marcasite is a common minerals existed in the mining area. So if pyrite reacts with oxygen and water, pyrite can be dissolved and ferrous iron and sulfuric acid can be generated. And if this ferrous iron is reacting with oxygen and hydrogen ion, it can be oxidated as to a ferric iron, which means F iron 3. And during this process, ferric iron can be precipitated as hydroxide form. And we call it yellow boy because the precipitation color, it looks like yellow or red color. And also the pyrite can be oxidated by ferric iron. So as you can see in the bottom, this is final reaction equation for mine drainage generation. And also bacteria can involve these reactions, and bacteria involved reactions dramatically accelerate the oxidation of sulfide, and it can result in strong acid mine drainage generation. And we call these bacteria as iron oxidizing bacteria, IOB. As you can see in the red square I expressed, the pyrite can be oxidized with reacting with ferric iron, which means iron 3, and it is really fast. It is faster reaction than non-biotic reaction, as you can see. So it can result in accelerating generate of strong acid mine drainage. This graph shows how fast the bacteria involved reactions are occurred. The schematic illustration of normalized sulfide oxidation rate with or without bacteria mediation. As you can see, the biological reactions shows more higher sulfide oxidation rate than a biotic reaction. So bacteria is really important factor for generating mine drainage. I brought the schematic diagram of mine drainage generation. The first three from underground mine. The mine drainage can be discharged from mine drainage tunnel. It can react with exposed sulfide minerals from bedrock or the waste piles in the mine drainage tunnel. So we should make treatment facility to treat them. And this is a diagram for mine drainage from open pit mine. Usually after raining for precipitation, the pit wall runoff generate and it can create pit lake, and the pit lake can react with sulfide minerals, which is waste rock bedded from the bottom or exposed from the bedrock. So pit lake can be contaminated with various heavy metals. So mine drainage have a diverse impact on environment. Firstly, if the water is contaminated and it can make the water use be restricted, and also break out of ecosystem and harmful effects for human health. And also site damages by sediments, as I told you before, yellow boy phenomenon, and corrosion for facilities and equipment. And finally, it can result in spread out of bad images of mining activity and also can cause high expenses of reclamation. So before going to treatment of mine drainage, we should look through assessment of mine drain, how we investigate it. Here are procedures for mine drainage assessment, on-site and document survey, and monitoring and analysis, characterization of mine drainage, and control or treatment. So I'm going to explain all of the steps more specifically. Before, before the field survey, we have to investigate geology, topography, hydrogeology, or even a related regulation or weather information, etc. So after collecting all the information, we should go for the field survey and investigate contamination source. And also, we should check stream direction and on-site measurement, and then the sampling the water for analysis. Checking stream direction is very important procedure because we have to sample the water from the down to the upper stream. So as you can see in the picture, right, this is an example of sampling procedures from Miracle. So the sampling starts with number one place at the downstream and goes to the upper stream. And after collecting the water sample, we have to filter it with a filter paper for analysis. And also we have to add nitric acid in the container to prevent precipitation or adsorption onto the container wall of heavy matter, and storage in the other quiet condition. And after that we should analyze in the laboratory. And also in the field survey, we have to check the volume of mine drainage. There are several methods to measure it, but I will bring the four representative methods. First one is bucket and stopwatch method. It is very easy and common way because the only things we need is stopwatch and bucket with known volume. So we have to count the time to fill the known volume of a bucket. And because this is the temporary way, we have to conduct it minimum 3 times repeat. And second method is partial flume. Partial flume has its fixed forms and sizes, so we can measure the depth and the width of partial flume, and we can calculate the water volume. It is very easy to install, and by the ultrasonic equipment, we can automatic monitoring also and data logging system. The third way is weir. Weir it has V or rectangular notch weir. So the shape of weir is V or rectangular, and it is very easy to install too, and it usually involves a string basin. The last method is flow rate meter. It is commonly used to measure the volume of a large amount of volume like stream or river. So we can divide the cross section of the river and measure each unit and integration to calculate total discharge rate. And after field survey, here are some analysis variables. We can divide it on-site and laboratory. As on-site parameters, there are temperature, flow rate, pH, alkalinity, etc. We can measure it by portable measurement equipment. And in the laboratory, we can analyze the major cation and anions by ICP, IAA, or IC instrument. The parameters are very important to decide geochemical properties of mine drainage, and also they are used for designing the mine treatment facility. So they are very important to measure. And here are some geochemical properties of mine drainage to decide some characteristics. Firstly, temperature can indicate the origin of mine drainage. If the temperature is stationary, it might be affected by underground heat water, or if temperature is changeable, it might be affected by surface water. And secondly, pH and ORP can indicate mobility, and species of matter. So as you can see in the graph, depending on the pH, the matter concentration is determined. So the heavy matter can be precipitated or dissolved in the solution depending on the pH. And ORP is also important because it expresses the oxidation or reduction conditions. As you can see on the graph, if the ORP is below 0, it is easy to mineralize it as a pyrite. But if it is above the 0, it can be dissolved or precipitated as a hydroxide form. This is an example of iron species. And also acidity and alkalinity are also important. Many people think acidity equals pH, but it is kind of different. Acidity is composed with hydrogen ion, which means pH, and also mineral acidity. Mineral acidity is generated during the mineral precipitation. And as you can see in the graph, when pH is low, the acidity is affected by the pH very much. But if pH is above the 4, pH is insignificant to determining acidity. And in this situation, the mineral acidity significantly affects the acidity. And alkalinity is the deposit meaning of acidity, is the ability to buffer the acidity. So it is composed of some carbonate species in the solution. So with using pH or mineral acidity and or deposit type, we can divide the geochemical properties of mine drainage as 6 categories. Types A from the type F. And also, mine wastes are very important to investigate mine drainage. Here are some types of mine waste: tailings, waste rocks, and exposed surface of mining area. They are very important to investigate because they can they have acid forming potential. So as you can see in the picture, we have to investigate tailing, waste rock, or exposed surface mining area. After investigating, we have to prepare the way for prevention or mitigation of mine drainage. The important thing is source control. So as I said before, we have some factors to generate mine drainage: oxygen, water, or bacteria, something else. So we have to minimize oxygen supply or water infiltration, or we can remove sulfide minerals, and we can control some pore water pH, or we can control bacteria and biogeochemical process too. But if prevention and mitigations are impossible, we have to treat the mine drainage. There are 3 types of mine drainage treatment: active treatment, semi-active, and passive. And I will explain more specifically of all the units in the next chapter. So using the geochemical properties of mine drainage, we can determine which method we will use for its treatment. For example, if the flow rate or contaminant concentrations are low, we can expect natural attenuation, or it is in the middle condition, we have to apply passive treatment. And if flow rate and concentrations are very high, we have to apply active treatment method. So let's see more specifically on treatment of mine drainage. Firstly, we will look through passive treatment. The definition of passive treatment is improvement water quality by methods which do not require regular human intervention, operations, or maintenance, with typically employing natural construction materials and natural substrate to treatment, also and usually using gravity for water flow, not the artificial power equipment. So as you can see in the pictures, it is very natural conditions. There is no machinery or any artificial powering source, and it is very eco-friendly way to treat mine draining. So the properties of passive treatment systems are as following. Again, it uses natural occurring chemical biological reactions, but it requires large area due to a long retention time, and also have a weakness for seasonal changes of flow rate and water quality because we cannot handle anything by artificial way. However, it has a very good advantages that it requires low maintenance expenses than other treatment methods. And here are some mechanisms for metal removal and retention, oxidation or precipitation as hydroxide, carbonate, and as a sulfide under anaerobic conditions, or complexation and adsorption onto organic matter, and also ion exchange, and even uptake mechanisms by plants, like cacti planted in the wetland. So I divide the three types of passive treatment system. The firstly, supply of alkalinity using calcite. And in this method, there are limestone drain, limestone dumping, or diversion well, and limestone pond. And the second category is aerobic or settling systems. There are settling, oxidation pond, or wetland. And the last classification is alkalinity producing unit. It is a vertical flow way, and there are stops or laps in this category. I will explain more specifically in the next slide, all of them. Firstly, for producing alkalinity, the ALD anoxic limestone drain. It is the structure of filling limestone in the channel, covering with liner of all the side of the channel. So it is perfectly prevented from the exterior, so there is no oxidation condition in the channel. And so as mine drainage flows through the limestone, the heavy metal can be removed. And open limestone channel is somewhat opposite from the ALD. It is open condition, and the limestone is placed along the side and the bottom of the channel. It can create oxidation condition, and it can make precipitation of heavy metal. As you can see in the pictures, we can see how much treatment is processed by observing the precipitation, yellow colored precipitation like that. So it is very good advantage to observe directly the procedure, so we can exchange the substrate very easily. The next method is diversion well. Diversion well is the structure of filling crushed limestone on the bed, and there is a mine drainage fallen onto the crushed limestone. It has a benefit to disturbing crushed limestone, so it can prevent precipitation to clogging the limestone porosity. And limestone dumping way is to set the limestone dump in the middle of the river or stream, so the water can seep into the limestone dump and producing alkalinity, and we can treat mine drainage. And another method is settling or oxidation pond. Settling oxidation ponds are typically very large scale of pond. So we can set oxidation pond to oxidize and precipitate meters of net alkaline water. So we have to make very long retention time if we use this settling or oxidation pond. Generally, they are applied at the end of alkaline producing system. So as you can see in the picture, we can create SAPS unit, and after that, we can create settling pond to treat residual heavy metals in the mine drain. And also the wetland. As you can see in the picture, wetland is somewhat very natural condition, and there are plants planted on the soil like cotton or rice, and usually the water depth is very shallow, and soil or organic matter is placed at the bottom. There are several mechanisms to remove heavy metals from mine drainage: oxidation and hydrolysis of metals, or filtration of metals suspended on the solid, and sorption onto organic matter, formation of insoluble metal sulfides or carbonate, and also metal uptake by plants. There are various mechanisms to remove heavy metals. And the last unit for passive treatment is alkalinity producing unit. It is a vertical flow structure, as you can see on the diagram, and there are SAPs and LAPs. SAPs is successive alkalinity producing system, and LAPs is reducing an alkalinity producing system. They have a difference in its structure. SAPs has layer structure of compost and limestone, which means limestone overlaid with organic matter. And LAPS has mixed structure, which means limestone integrated with organic matter. So for the SAPs, it is mainly used for core mine water, which has high iron contamination. So in the compost layer, we can make reducing condition of iron, and after goes through the limestone area, we can add alkalinity and precipitation of iron. So it has a thinner organic layer and lower activity of SRB. SRB is surface reduction bacteria, and it has a very important role in the compost layer, and I will explain it next slide. Another unit is LAPS, reducing and alkalinity producing system. It is used in metal mine or high mineral acidity water, which means high base metal concentration, and we can add alkalinity and SRB activity in the very wide mixed substrate zone. But it has lower permeability than SAPs, so we have to be care of precipitation and clogging of the substrate. So what is SRB? SRB is surface reducing bacteria, and they use carbon as an electron donor and involves metabolism by reducing sulfate using as an electron acceptor at neutral pH conditions. So you can see the equation of a reaction. The carbon is used for energy source, and bisulfide hydrogen is formed, and if it is reacted with heavy metals, the sulfide precipitation can be formed. So in this reaction, the heavy metal can be removed from the reduction condition by sulfate reducing bacteria. They are very important in the passive treatment system. So here are some diagrams to determine which passive system unit we use. This is very complex diagram, so I cannot handle all the process, but the only thing you have to know is depending on the chemical properties of mine drainage, the passive system unit is determined. Here are some examples to apply passive treatment. Usually they are mixed unit treatment system. So when the mine drainage is net alkaline but has low concentration of iron and base metals, we can use only settling pond and wetland. But if the mine drainage has high concentration of iron, we apply steps after settling pond and goes to the wetland. But if mine drainage has low iron concentration but high concentration of base metal like copper, zinc, we can apply labs instead of stops after the settling pond and goes through the wetland. And if the mine drainage is net acidic, we have to apply alkalinity producing system in the prior. So when the iron concentration is high, the steps is applied, and base metal is high, we apply labs prior to settling point. This is just for example, and you can change its sequences depending on the environment. And the next treatment method is active treatment method. The definition of it is improvement of water quality by methods which require ongoing inputs or artificial energies and biochemical reagents. The properties of active treatment system are as following. Continuous supply of treatment chemicals, and it can also treat high volume of water and have effective management for seasonal flow rate changes because we can handle it by artificial way. But the disadvantage is it requires higher cost for management and maintenance. Here are some mechanisms in the active treatment: aeration, neutralization, metal precipitation, ion exchange, and also biological sulfate removal. The main chemicals are as following. As neutralizers, limestone or lime, sodium hydroxide, fly ash, and slag can be used. And as a flocculant, iron sulfide, aluminum sulfate, and polymer can be used. And as an oxidant, calcium hypochlorite, potassium permanganate, hydrogen peroxide can be used. So there are various chemical types. By controlling pH to a typical set point of 9.5, metals such as iron, zinc, and copper are precipitated, as you can see in the figure. However, the cadmium and manganese requires very high pH to remove, so they are very difficult to treat. when using the slaked lime to control the pH, most metals are removed by the precipitation as a hydroxide form. Coagulants are chemical reagents to make microflux as diminishingly perceived electric force. There are alum and iron salts as a coagulant. And flocculants are used to make macroflux by electric agglomeration by microflux. So it makes large volume of coagulant by agglomeration. Several polymers are applied depending on electric condition of microflux, cationic, anionic, or non-ionic. So by applying those mechanisms we discussed before, I will explain the main active treatment system. The first one is conventional chemical treatment system. Neutralization flocculant is often used and continuous sludge disposal is needed. AMD is neutralized in the mixed tank with addition of neutralizers such as lime to attain a desired pH set point. The slurry is then contacted to a flocculant and fed to a settling basin for solid-liquid separation. The sludge is collected from the bottom of the settling basin and can either be pumped to a storage area or pressure filtered to increase its density prior to transport. The settling basin overflow can normally be released directly, but often a sand filtration system or collection pond is used to reduce residual suspended solid. But it has weakness of the sludge has high moisture content, which means low density, and it results in high disposal cost of sludge. So, sludge return neutralization method is developed. It is suggested as a method for sludge reduction. It uses partial sludge as a seed of precipitation through recycling into the process and make precipitation to occur at the surface of sludge, increasing the sludge density. So you can see the figures of coagulation by sludge return. It has advantages of increasing the sludge density or improve the liquid-solid separation efficiency, and also reduce the scale of the reactor. The sludge return neutralization method has been suggested like the following sequence. Simple sludge return system is modified from the conventional system, and it has a difference in the sludge can be recycled into the mixed tank, not disposed of all of them. The partial of the sludge is recycled to the mixed tank to react with AMD and limestone. And the sludge density is about 15%, and it is higher value than that of conventional method. If the density is higher, it means water content is low, and we can easy to treat this high density of sludge. And the last one is semi-active treatment. It is the method of combination of merits of passive system and active system. So usually we use aerobic or anaerobic wetland and settling ponds, chemical feeding units, etc. And it also requires at least maintenance cost, and generally as an active system, there are oxidation and neutralization units, and as a passive system, there are lagoon or wetland units. So as you can see in the picture bottom, you can see the both of natural condition unit and also the artificial condition of neutralizer tank or any machinery equipment. So the sludge is generated in both active and semi-active systems. Then how do we dispose this sludge after treatment? The first method is to create a sludge dam. We can permanently store the sludge into the sludge dam. And also, another sludge disposal method is recycling. In case of Korea, sludge from the treatment facility is recycled in the cement factory as a subsidiary material. So using a low sludge, it is dehydrated and the moisture content is decreases and we can recycle it. So in the lastly, I will show some case studies in Miracle. Now there are 56 facilities in Korea, mine drainage treatment facilities. Most of them are passive treatment methods, and there are a few active and semi-active systems. Based on December 2020, there are 8 active and 8 semi-active and 40 passive treatment facilities in Korea. So firstly, there are examples of passive treatment facilities. It is very simple than other methods. And the first example is the Danyang facility to treat core mine drainage. The sequence is settling pond, wetland, and filtration, and target element is iron. As you can see in the photo, for the settling pond, if it goes to the flow direction, the water shows more clean than the first stage. And the second example is Donghae facility, and it is also for treating core mine drainage, and target element is iron and manganese. Because it is acidic condition, we applied it salts as an alkalinity producing system. So the unit is oxypon, salts, and wetland in sequence. Another example is more complex. It is examples for semi-active treatment facility. The first example is Okdong facility to treating melamine containing iron, manganese, and zinc. Firstly, it goes through neutralizer tank, so the neutralizer is input into the mine drainage, and after that, settling pond and wetland. In the settling pond, the sludge can be generated, so we did temporary sludge disposal place, so we dispose sludge temporarily before transport. And second example is more complex. Firstly, the mine drainage goes through oxidation pond, and it is divided to 2 settling ponds. And before going through a settling pond, the neutralizer is input, and they are merging together before wetland again. And we input sulfuric acid in this process because we have to adjust the pH or adequate pH before going wetland. And it goes through filtration and goes to the natural stream. And here are examples of active treatment facilities. There are more machinery and it looks like more factory. The first example is Hamtae to treating core mine drainage containing iron and manganese, and it has a large volume of treated amount. It uses a neutralization reactor and circular settling pond, as you can see in the second picture. And the next example is very special facility because it is the only facility to use electrochemical reactor to treat iron from the core mine drain. So I showed some examples in Korea, and next I will show Indonesia and Miracle Corporation to construct passive treatment facility. This facility is located in East Kalimantan, and the mine name is Singularis Pratama Core Mine. So Miracle investigated the situation. So seepage and pit lake is generated as a contaminated mine drain. And also with a pre-existing facility, the mine drainage was tried to be treated, but we need more efficient treatment facility. So the average concentration of contaminants are as following. And the pH is very low as a value of 2.8, and other contaminants are very high concentration above the permitted level of each contamination. So here are the setup of passive treatment facility. Depth and settling point at wetland in sequence. Depth is constructed because we have to produce alkalinity and creating oxidation precipitation conditions for heavy metals. And first, in steps, firstly, we remove some of the heavy metals, and to treat residual heavy metal, we constructed settling pond and wetland. Settling pond is for precipitation by hydroxide during the long retention time. So it is divided into two settling ponds. And after that, goes through the wetland, and in the wetland, oxidation and precipitation and also sorption by plants can be occurred to treatment mine drain. This is an example of successive cooperation between Indonesia and Miracle. And I hope there will be a continuous cooperation between Indonesia and Miracle, and it will be good if it is a PEP Bandung. Thank you for listening my lecture. Yeah, this is my presentation is finished. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Yonso, for the marvelous presentation. So we are here now in the Q&A session. So if you are wondering and have any questions during the presentation, write them to chat. And the format is the name slash the origin of the institute slash the question. And the chosen questions will be answered by Ms. Yonso for the next 25 minutes in the Q&A session. I will be waiting for about 1 minute, or just send them if you have the questions.
Ilham, no question yet in the Q&A?
So it looks like we have one question now. We can start. So the first question is from Debbie, PEP Bandung. The question is, what we should pay attention to in choosing the treatment method to be used?
Oh yeah, oh that's a very good question. And I showed some procedures to investigate mine drainage. So the objective of investigating mine drainage is to classify the chemical properties of mine drainage. So there are acidity, alkalinity, and pH, and various parameters. So we have to check each parameters before choosing treatment method. So if it is low contaminants or low flow rate, we can choose passive treatment system. But if it is very high, so if we cannot use passive treatment, we need to use artificial way, such as active treatment method for neutralizing. Yeah. So the most important thing is the investigating in the field and laboratory before choosing treatment method. Yeah. Is that an answer?
Yes, thank you so much. So the second question is from Mr. Yudi. Mr. Yudi, from the two mining method like mineral and coal, which mining is that occurred acid mine drainage the most and like more intensive and more dangerous from
Mm.
the mineral or the coal mining.
Oh, yeah. So, I told you that there are three types of mine drainage: core, matter, and non-matter. And usually, typically, the core mine drainage has lowest pH during among the three types of mine drainage. So, in the view of actually, the core mine drainage has very low pH. But that doesn't mean the mine drainage from metal and non-metal is not dangerous, because in the metal mine, the arsenic or manganese can be included, and especially arsenic, arsenic, it is very dangerous for human health. So, and also non-metal mine drainage, it is relatively high pH and low contamination of heavy metals, but it has high amount of suspended solid. It is very dangerous for our, for example, respiration, the core mine drainage has a potent, it has various species of heavy metal, and for the non-metal mine, it has various suspended
Okay,
solid.
thank you so much, Ms. Yunso, for the answer. It looks like we have another question from Fatur,
Mhm.
PEP Bandung. The question is the occurrence of AMD getting higher each time in one place, I guess, in the same
Oh,
place?
is the occurrence of AMD getting higher each time? You mean after operating mines,
Yes, I guess.
it is the increase of
Yes, I
AMD
guess so. It
generation?
increases each
Oh,
time.
okay. It depends on the situation, site by site. Um, if mining operator makes a treatment facility, or if close the edit, the mine drainage cannot be discharged. But if there is another way to discharge it, it can discharge another underground tunnel, or it can discharge any as a seepages in the natural conditions. So, so in this situation, AMD continues to be generated, but if it is if there is a natural attenuation of contamination or flow rate, the mine drainage can also not be discharged after operation. So it depends on site by site.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Yunso. To everyone, okay, it looks like we have another question. So does the acid mine drainage likely in one location with overall without any activity, and does like that to human beings?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you tell me again? Mhm.
Okay, so can the acid mine drainage
Mhm.
like occur naturally
Mhm.
in one location
Uh-huh.
which rich of mineral and coal without any mining activity, and does that will affect like dangerous to the human beings?
Oh, yes. Um, do you remember that exit rock drainage in the presentation? Exit rock drainage means the water polluted from the natural bedrock. So In the highway construction site or large excavation site, not only the mining area, the exit drainage can be generated. And also, it is affected by the condition of bedrock. If the bedrock has sulfide minerals, the exit drainage can be occurred naturally, and it also can contain heavy metals or has a low pH, so it can affect human health like mine drainage.
Okay. Thank you for the answer, Ms. Yeonso. Is there any question to all the attendants or participants? You can send the question. Oh, it looks like we have someone who raised the hand. To the operator. Who raised the hand?
I think Melon directly to Ms. O.
Okay. To Riyadul Ulum, you can open your mic and ask directly. You can start.
Okay, hello. Assalamualaikum. Uh, my name is Riyadul Ulum. I am from Metallurgical Technology, Polytechnic Energy and Mining Bandung. I want ask some question, Mrs. What is the difference between AAS and ICP? So I ever heard about IAS. I think that is same as ICP. So why do you use ICP, not IAS, and what is the difference?
Yeah, they are the methods to analyze heavy metals or major cations using the instrument. But the difference is ICP can analysis in ICP can analyze the various types of heavy metal in the same time. So it is a complex equipment to measure the heavy metal. And in the AAS, we can analyze the heavy metal by one time for one heavy metal. This is the major difference, and also they both are using elemental characteristics using the 쏴주는 거 yeah, using the injection with the very high temperature condition. Yeah, and both can be used for analyzing heavy metal major cations.
Okay, and which one is the best used, especially in Indonesia, Miss?
Oh, in the Indonesia, actually, I have only used the ICP, and for the AAS, I only see the instrument. But the ICP, I heard the ICP is more convenient because it can measure various cations in the one time. But but for example, the cadmium and iron, they have a similar wavelength when the measuring. So in the ICP, it cannot be analyzed very well if iron concentration is high because it can intervene cadmium analyzing. So in that condition, some people use AAS for the more more specific analyzing.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs.
Thank you.
To all the participants, you can open mic to if you want to ask directly. Is there any questions? We will be waiting. So, looks like we got another question from Grace from PEP Bandung, and the question is, I want to ask, outside of the material, as a woman who works in the mining sector, what do you think of the community's thinking that mining is not a world belonging to women and mining activities as a destroyer of the environment?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you tell me again? I cannot hear
Okay,
it.
from Grace, PP Bandung, and the question is, I want to ask outside of the material, as a woman who works in the mining sector, what do you think of the community's thinking that mining is not a world that belongs to women and mining activities as a destroyer of the environment?
Yeah. um,
Yeah,
as a woman working related to mining activity, it will be hard because like strength or health. But it is very honor to work in this area. And after mining, for the investigating environmental or environmental protection, it is very important to work for everyone, not woman and men. So yeah, it is very good experience. It will be very good experience working in this area.
okay, thank you so much for the answer.
Mhm.
So the next question is from Friza, Pepe Bandung as well, and the question is there any alternative method so we can avoid the side effect of acid mine drainage?
Alternative material for
Yes, as
for treat
alternative method to avoid the side effect.
alternative material to treatment mine drainage.
Yes,
Oh, um, in the passive treatment system, you typically the compost or manure was used for as a substrate, but in this state, um, the slag can be used as a substrate material because it can produce higher alkalinity than limestone or compost. So when treating manganese that requires high pH to be precipitated, we can use a slag or, as I told you before, sludge can be recycled to treat treat mine drainage. So it is very good advantage to recycle the waste, and also it has high ability to absorb arsenic or iron. So in Miracle, for many sites, the pilot experiments using slag or sludge is conducted, and it will be continued in the further. Mhm.
okay, great answer, Ms. Yunso.
Mhm.
Thank you for answering. We have another question from Muhammad Yazid from PP, and the question is, can acid mine actually cause the acid rain? Let me repeat. Can acid mine actually cause the acid rain?
Oh, acid rain. Mm, there might be a relationship because the seepage is occurred by infiltration of rainfall. But if raining is acid, it will be affected. Yeah, it will be affected because it has high concentration of hydrogen ion, and maybe it will affect pyrite oxidation more faster. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mhm.
It looks like we got another raised hand participant from Mr. Yudi. Mr. Yudi, you can start open your mic and ask directly.
Thank you, Ilham. So I want to ask about the acid membrane in groundwater. Do you have any experience in acid membrane in groundwater, and how to treat the AMD in groundwater?
Mm. Oh, AMD in groundwater. Oh yeah. Exit mine drainage is occurred in the tunnel. So it means the groundwater goes to the cavity of underground, and it can make exit mine drainage generation reaction. So if the mine drainage is flows through the groundwater can be also contaminated. But if groundwater is not discharged outside of the ground, it can be treated on site. There are several ways, and there is the first way is to construct the wall containing substrate to treatment mine drainage for more iron, zero valent iron, or something else. So we can make the impermeable barrier in the ground. So groundwater can flow through the permeable wall, and we can adsorb or precipitate heavy metal. And so the clean groundwater goes through the permeable barrier, and so we can clean the groundwater to it at the on-site treatment.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, so it looks like we have another question from Rizky Rafi, PEP Bandung, and the question is, have you ever visited a place that has acid rain?
I have during the presentation, there was a pumping facility and also Najam facility using very large neutralizer tank and circular settling cone, and also use electric reaction to treat heavy metal. So the active treatment is very large scale than the semi-active or passive system, and there are 8 sites of active mine drainage treatment system in Korea. So I have visited all of them, and I was surprised that it is very big and huge scale. I thought the mine drainage treatment system can be small because it is not large, but the volume is about a few thousand cubic meter per day. So it was very large amount. So I was very surprised.
Okay, thank you so much. So, is there any question from all the participants or panelists? Oh, it looks like we got another attendant who raised the hand. Video operator, who raised the hand? Can you help me?
Ibu Mirna.
Ibu Mirna.
Okay, thank you, Ilham. Thank you for great presentation, Miss Yun. Beside on your experience or case study in Mireco, which one is most effective for active method, passive method, or semi-active method? Which one for 5 region in case study in Mireco is the most effective? Thank you, Mr.
Oh, yes, thank you for a great question. It depends on the chemical properties of a mine drainage. So if it has a small amount of contaminant with a few volume of discharge, the passive treatment can enough to remove heavy metal and makes clean water. But if the flow rate is a few thousand cubic meter per day, or iron or manganese, like contaminants is very high concentration, the passive system cannot afford it. So in this situation, we need to use semi-active or active treatment system to use artificial neutralizer or any chemical reagent. But active or semi-active system require the higher expense than passive treatment system. So if there is no need to treat by active treatment system, the passive treatment system is more efficiency because it requires low maintenance expenses. But the important thing is chemical properties of mine drains. It depends on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Yeoncho, we got another question from Mr. Yudi Rahayudin. The question is, which one is the better option for the remediation of AMD, biological or chemical method?
Oh, biological and chemical method. Oh, let me see. Again, it depends on the properties of mine drainage. But for example, if the mine drainage is very acidic, we need to produce alkalinity or we need to create reduction condition. And in reduction condition, the heavy metals can be precipitated as a sulfide precipitation. And for this mechanism, we need biological treatment system using SRB, surface reduction bacteria. Yeah, but if it is enough to afford only chemical precipitation or oxidation, we can use only limestone for chemical reaction, not using compost. So it depends on the properties of mine drainage. But if you use organic matter for surface reduction bacteria activity, uh, it can be it can produce a little smell over the system. So yeah, but this is a disadvantage, but we can use both of the reaction depending on chemical properties.
Okay, it looks like it depends, right?
Mhm.
So is there any question from the participant? We got another participant or panelist who raised their hand.
Okay, this is me, Ilham.
Okay, Mr. Teddy.
Yeah, actually, I have a plan to do research next year, but it's related to the total suspended solid sedimentation. Yeah, when I visit Korea, invited by Mireko, I see there is a compartment in a compartment. Maybe I can see the presentation, your presentation in 36 page, I think. Yeah, so I would like 36 pages, 36.
Yeah.
In the middle,
36.
in the middle, I see maybe it's a compartment in compartment. So I would like to ask you about the effectiveness. Yeah, and the effectiveness if we make the small compartment in this big compartment, maybe it related to the rated time, I think. How about the effectiveness for making the compartment in a compartment in rising the pH?
Oh,
Yeah, it is related with the the
effectiveness of raising pH using natural barrier. Oh, oh yeah. Oh, it is very good because if you use for example, if you use compost, then compost is usually used with the mixture of limestone. The limestone can produce alkalinity and in the compost layer, exert activity and also alkalinity like wetland or subs or rocks. So it is very effective to treat heavy metals on both material. So for example, as you can see in the picture of page 36, the third picture shows a little bit blue colored mine drainage. They have contaminants with copper around 10 milligram per liter, but I have conducted the experiments using compost to treat this mine drainage containing copper, and the efficiency is almost 96 to 100% efficiency using compost and limestone.
Okay, Miss, maybe I will ask another subject. Is there any experience for you to reduce the TSS, total suspended solid?
Um,
The turbidity, it is related to turbidity.
turbidity is yeah.
Uh,
Oh, you mean the? Oh, okay. I got it. I understand the question.
okay.
So when using natural substrate, the suspended solid can be generated more, right? Mm, yes, but in for the passive treatment system, there are mixed units of settling pond, wetland, or subs and rafts. But as you said before, the compost or any natural substrate can generate suspended solid in the higher level. So in this case, we can construct the filtration unit after the R units like sand filtration like that. So in this filtration process, we can remove the suspended solid and make the clean water to the natural stream.
Okay. Actually, I will conduct the research about this solubility next year
Oh,
in the mining of sand.
yeah.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Yun. Ms. Yun, to all, we got another question from Nandi, PEP Bandung. The question is, how do you neutralize acid mine drainage so that it is not dangerous to the community?
Oh, for neutralization, we can use limestone in common ways because limestone can increase the pH and it is not a dangerous material. So typically we use limestone to neutralize the acid mine drainage. Mhm.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there any question from all the panelists or attendees? I'll give one.
Maybe I would like to ask some question. If
Okay.
nobody's, is there any other question you have? Or
So far, not yet, then.
okay, so I just want to ask about the coagulant which you use for acid mine drainage treatment, so that you use coagulant and then you dry it and then become sludge and you can recycle again. So is that you recycle? Can you share about the recycling method of the sludge that was formed because of the coagulant? I think the last two presentation you mentioned about the recycling of
Yeah,
the sludge.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the recycling process and also what product do you get for
Okay.
this process? Yes, thank you, Ilham.
Oh. Oh, is that a question, pardon?
Yes, a question about your experience in that process.
Yeah, experience of a process of sludge recycle.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay. When the sludge is generated from the active or semi-active treatment system, we can transport it to be dehydrated, and after decreasing moisture content, we can transport it the cement to factory, for example. So it can be used as a subsidiary material for cement. Yeah, and also sludge can be used for absorbent for heavy metal absorption. So sometimes we use sludge for the treatments as a treatment substrate. Yeah, it has very high efficiency to absorb iron or arsenic. Yeah.
So it related to Mr. Bang's presentation about the arsenic, right? About the absorption
Oh,
of arsen from the oxide iron. So uh, okay, so it's very interesting actually because we can produce more adsorbent and also another product because of using this coagulant. So because I think the most commonly acid mine treatment in Indonesia is only using the calc, yeah, only using the calcium oxide, yeah, the lime, I mean, yeah, limestone, lime, yeah. So it's the most common in here in mining activities. But I think today we learn a lot, yeah, not only this lime, but also another method, yeah, with coagulant, also with bacteria, and etc. Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for Ms. Yun. So we have one more question slot before we close the Q&A session. If there is another question, you can ask directly or send them in the chat or Q&A session. But if it's enough in the Q&A session, I will close the Q&A session.
Okay, thank you, Ilham again for your participation to be moderator and guided us along the presentation. For Miss O, maybe you can pick two best questions from all the questions that are delivered to you.
Oh, all the
Yeah,
questions
you
were
can.
very perfect
Yeah.
question. I have to choose only two.
Yeah, you only
Okay.
need to.
I remember the question that second question.
Second question.
The core matter, non-matter mine drainage, which one is most dense, right? The second question.
Second question.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, and
we will find out the second question because we got so many good questions
Because we
and
got so many
we kind of
questions.
forget. Yes, we get so many questions. So Ms. Yansho and all the participants and attendants, let me tell you the conclusion that we can make is that they are mining activity and hazards that give convenience and benefits for humans, such as resource development like gold and silver, but give the environmental damage and contamination as well, such as water and soil contamination, ground subsidence, dust, and deforestation, because mine hazards are the dark shadow of resource development that occurred in the processes of mine development that cause physical and chemical damages that are harmful to the environment and human beings. And 95% of the mine sites are open pit mines or surface mine and have potential to generate acid mine drainage, and the treatment are divided into passive and active treatment. So this concludes the webinar. Thank you all for attending. We hope you have learned and enjoyed this webinar. But before we get to the next session, I guess we have another one basic question, right? We get one question before, so we have still one more question, best question. You can choose one question.
one more question.
Yes, the best question. One more best question.
Yes. And I remember the question of the analysis method for heavy metal ICP and AAS. Yeah, the asking of the difference of them. Yeah, I remember the question.
Okay.
Yeah, that's ulum, I think.
Yes, that's
ulum, I think. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Yeon So. Unique, I guess we can take a screenshot to.
Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for Miss Yun Soo. We really enjoyed and appreciate the presentation. It will be the most valuable edition because I'm sure the presentation brought new insight for all of us. Thank you so much. And for the panelists and participants, I would like to ask all of us to give an appreciation by turning on the reaction features for Miss Yun Soo and her presentation. It's also today's event. Please, attendants and panelists, can you give the reaction? Okay, thank you. For lecturers, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Yun Soo, maybe you would like to say additional 1 or 2 words for all of us here?
Oh yeah, thank you for inviting me to this great webinar. And it was a great experience for me, and I hope it will be great experience for you too. I hope we will see soon.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
face to face.
it's an honor for us to have you here today. Thank you. All right then, thank you so much. Now we will have a screenshot. For panelists and attendees, you can open your camera and follow my post like this. This is a post for Webinar Insight, and the next post, and I would like ask the operator to take a screenshot for all of us. Okay. Is it? Okay. Okay. Uh, Follow my count. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And the next okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you so much for your okay. Next disclaimer for everyone, don't leave the Zoom because there is an interesting door prize for 3 lucky people and 2 best question from PEP Bandung. And for the attendees, because soon there will be an interesting games and door prize session for the winners, for 5 winners, for 3 winners, so stay tuned. And for panelists and Miss Yoon Soo Oh, you can leave the Zoom room, but also are allowed to be here anyway. Thank you so much, Miss Oh. We are from PEP Bandung to have you here. Ilham, kamsahamnida, Miss Oh.
Miss Oh, Mr. Bang, thank you for your time today. So maybe the next is about the Mercury. Please give me a photo for the speaker, Mr. Bang, because I don't have any picture for the professor from Yunso University. Yeah. And about the project, maybe Mr. Bang give me 2 weeks, to make this concept. I need a time for make this concept. One more time. Oh, and Mr. Bang for your time.
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you. Terima kasih. Ya.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Miss Su. Thank you, Mr. Bang, for today's webinar.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, all the attendees. The next session is game session, the Kahoot quiz. I think Kahoot is very familiar for us because there will be 3 lucky people and 2 best questions to be given a special door prize from PEP Bandung. And now let's join the Kahoot now. The operator, you can share or you can start the game. Okay, for attendees, you can use the Kahoot code that is provided by the operator. And the format of the username itself is your name your name / instancy. For example, Unika Poka / underscore PEP Bandung. Okay, we are waiting for you.
We will be waiting like for about 2 minutes for coming or 5 minutes
maybe
maximum.
maybe
Yeah,
2
let's
minutes.
just join. Let's just enter the code now.
It's very interesting.
There will be 3 or can you repeat up to me? Many best.
Okay, we have.
Oh, for the top 3.
Just
score, right?
Just for
Oh,
three,
yeah, just
top 3,
3.
of course. Okay, we are waiting for the Kahoot. I think it's very interesting because the last time I do the test. I mean, like it's very interesting. The
Yes,
answer
of course,
and
it's so interesting.
it's very random, but I'm sure it will be fun. We will waiting for all you all. Okay, it's only.
So here we go. We got the music. So it's fun to do that, right?
Yeah, I do the test. Like, oh my god, I'm laughing because the answer is so funny. Because oh my god, I hope that.
Yes, and the questions like sometimes randomly.
Yeah, I mean like.
Out because
Okay,
Those are
we're still
related to the
waiting.
material. Okay.
Okay. 10 minutes, I guess.
We'll be waiting for like
Yeah. Okay, it's
50
getting.
participants maybe,
Yeah.
or there is no maximum, right? Like
No, there's no maximum, I guess.
okay,
The operator will
we
wait
got
until.
24. No,
No, it's 24. Yeah, come on, getting more.
yes.
This is short.
And for the top 3 highest score, you can send your information like address or email and phone number, right, to the operator, Unica Bangka. Can you?
Yeah.
Or
Okay, I will
give
ask
the
the operator
information?
to for the winners to give their address and call the operator to send the door prize, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just address. It's okay. The operator says it's just
Okay,
address.
this is the address.
Okay, it's 31 right now. It's
32.
we will wait until how many? 50, I guess.
Okay. It's so exciting, right?
So exciting, of course. I can't wait.
And there will be another webinar, right? 9.
Yeah,
What's
it's
the-
going back. There's a one, I think 19 or 21 of April, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
And every
So,
week we have.
so
Yes.
attendees, don't forget to follow up, stay follow up, and we were always waiting your presence in our international webinar.
Yes. With
It's
international
40.
speaker.
Yeah, of course, it's very interesting to have them. We've got so many insight, I guess. So many knowledge. It's 43, okay.
So I got the information from the operator. So there's a maximum like 56
Okay.
participants.
Okay, we will wait.
Got so many slots.
Oh my God. Nickname. Okay, make sure you use your real name because
Yes.
because we will ask the winner about your address. I mean, like winner's address. So make sure you are recognized.
Because PEP Bandung has so many great and unique souvenir
of
or their
course.
prices. Like I get so many.
Oh, you do?
good and
You do?
yeah.
So many.
But I have like
That's
some of
interesting.
those souvenir from
Interesting. Okay, okay. It's 45 right now. We will wait for 5 or
still have
10, yeah. 10,
10.
okay.
10.
10 people to join us in this Kahoot game. So, the games contain questions from the materials that have been described by Ms. Yoon Suo to everyone who also joined in the Zoom and also join the game by entering the code. 45, okay. 46, 47, it's getting faster, come on. Don't miss it. Or you will lose the door prize, I guess. 8, 7
Get closer.
people left.
7 more participants.
Okay. For this, oh, there's some. There's people left.
I guess there's like
Signal.
connection problem.
Okay. Okay.
Who's that? Inshallah.
47.
This is
Oh,
your real name
and-
because we will be get like some struggles if you inshallah or a nickname
Okay, maybe
win
maybe
this Kahoot.
Yeah.
We are struggling to find out the address.
yeah. Use your real name, people. don't miss your real name. Okay, 47. I guess 50 is the limit. I don't want to make too many people waiting, I guess.
To make the time effective, let's just start in 9:55. How about that?
Okay, 9:55. I guess that's awesome. It's enough. Okay, we will wait for 2 minutes left.
Yes.
People, please join if you want to get the door prize. So interesting, I guess. 47. Still
Nick, are you still waiting
47.
for
2
the
minutes
participant?
left. Yes, we're still waiting.
1
sir.
minute left.
Okay. So I would like to encourage for all students of PP Bandung, you should join for this Kahoot, yeah. All the
Oh
student
yeah.
PP Bandung who attend this webinar, please join for this Kahoot game.
Yeah, yeah, everyone can join the
Okay,
code game.
especially
Can
for the student of PP Bandung and maybe from the outside of PP Bandung, it is also still allowed. Okay,
okay, it's also.
I'm sorry, I will leave this room. It's okay, Ilham, you think
Oh,
good?
it's okay.
Yes,
It's
that's
okay,
all right,
Mister.
sir.
Thank you so much. We really
Okay,
appreciate
you
thank
so
your
you
much,
for
presence
sir.
here.
your effort, yeah, all the committee of this webinar.
Thank you
And
so
then
much,
we have
sir.
two webinar for next week, yeah, in the Monday and also in the Wednesday.
Oh, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to
Thank you so
webinar
much,
next week.
sir.
Yeah, two webinar on
We've
Monday
been.
and Wednesday. Okay, thank you, Ilham.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
thank you,
Nico and Sophia,
sir.
for the all
Thank you so
community.
much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, we have 50 participants. Or what about just let's
Okay.
just start now?
Okay, let's just
Okay.
getting started now. It's getting
The
hot
operator,
here.
let's just start in 3, 2, 1.
2, 1.
Inside 4.0. 3,
Instead
2,
4.0.
1. Let's find out.
True or
Oh,
false?
God.
Marine drainage adalah air yang tercemar dari kontak dengan aktivitas pertambangan terkait dengan pertambangan.
True or false?
Okay.
Come on, I
Marine
guess it's pretty
drainage.
easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, not really pay attention more, but yes. Oh, okay.
Okay,
It's
we
true.
got 39. Probably investigation.
First place. Okay. Everyone can catch up. Come on.
Oh, we have 15,
Make sure
15
you.
questions.
Okay, yeah, we have 15
There are some
questions.
drainage choices.
There's a bunch.
Adik Supajarwo.
See, this is. This
I mentioned before.
yeah, it's really true.
Thank
Okay, happy PEP Bandung. Yeah. Make sure you answer it fast and true because it will affect your score again. Yeah.
The faster you answer the score, the higher score you get.
Oh, you're getting intense, you know, the music.
Yes.
How is your second day of fasting, Ilham? Is it hard?
It's I guess it's going pretty all right, and then like I guess I have like some kind of thirsty, but let's just continue our fasting today.
Yeah, I hope everything around smoothly and like. Oh,
Okay.
it's nggak dampak. There is also there's a funny answer. What is rumput bergoyang? Dampak dari acid mine
from
drainage.
the lyric line.
Yeah. You know.
Rumput yang bergoyang.
Oh, it's okay. Today,
Ulum.
Kak Ulum, for the first place. Everyone can catch up.
Oh, yeah.
You make sure answer it fast and true to get your score higher, I guess. Cara kasodo.
Choose the correct answer only.
What is pacara kasodo? Oh my god. So fun.
Vaccination.
Vaccination swimming.
We still have Kak Ulum on the first rank.
Yeah, we
as the
still have
highest.
Kak Ulum. Yeah, it's the highest rank. Here is properties of passive treatment system Excel. Oh, it's kind of challenging. Really pay attention. Oh, now it's Aldo. Aldo for the first place. Limestone damping is supply of a commodity using calcite system. Okay, we still have Aldo. There 6 questions left, I guess. People, you can be competitive right now is getting right. There's a mechanism of metal removal and retention. Here we go, sulfate removal. We still have Aldo as the highest rank.
Oh, we have connection
problem.
Okay, like
Okay, we just wait on this.
I hope it doesn't affect
Yeah,
anything.
I
Yes.
hope. Okay, we can continue the question. And we have Aji. Aji as the third rank, highest rank. Dalam harga yang sama dengan narasumber. Oh my god, this is so fun. Yun vacuum. Is he a foam master? No.
Oh, Sehun.
Firda PP as the highest rank right now.
Someone make sure you book the top 3.
Yeah, of
course.
course.
So you're able to get the door prize.
The participant can contact the panelists in room chat, I guess, to send their address.
And I guess we kind of forgot who the best question was.
Yeah, that's the umum, ya. Umum and
another one, I guess. Is there any one of you remember?
Oh my god, there's so many questions. I mean, like, I'm not really. I think the second question is not really.
Like metal and non-metal, right? But
yeah, maybe you can find out, Ilham.
Yes.
Okay, one last question, I guess.
One
14
last
or
question.
15. Yeah, after this. Acid treatment bisa dilakukan tanpa campur.
Okay, let's find out who the winner are. Oh, congratulations.
Oh no, just there's one question.
Oh, we still have another question left.
Yeah. One question left to determine who is the top three highest rank in this pilot game. Right? Let's pray together. You were the winner, I guess.
Yes, find out who the winner are.
Yeah.
Okay, let's find out in the podium.
How do you from first year down? Second place, first place. Okay, it's congratulations for all of you.
Congratulations. To the
Congratulations.
top three, you
Please
can
send
contact.
yeah.
You can send your address information.
Yeah, because
address information.
your
Right
prize
now.
will be delivered to you. Okay, right now, I would like to say we are in the final session finally, that we are going to have some screenshot documentation. Hopefully, all of your friends or ladies and gentlemen that are still joining to turn on the camera with Inside Post. But before the screenshot, first of all, we are from the panelists. Thank you for the audience, speakers, ladies and gentlemen, for your presence, participation, and contribution to the success of this event. Hopefully, everyone will be given their help and kindness in return of God Almighty. And also, a little information from PEP Bandung to all of the attendants. We remind you that PEP Bandung still open the registration for new students in range of time from 20th of May, 10th of May until 20th of June. For all of you who had joined UTBK or computer-based test and cooperation registration line from 8th of March till 20th of June, keep follow up our Instagram at PEP_Bandung and our website at pepbandung.ac.id. We will always keep our feed update. Okay, for everyone, you can turn on your camera and
to the operator, you can allow all the
where we
attendants.
can. We are waiting to all of you who can open your camera.
Open up your camera.
Open up your camera. And what best pose for this attendance you'll have? Do you?
Let's just do another
One.
side
Okay,
pose.
this
Yes.
side. Original. Okay, we are still waiting. Everyone who wanna open your camera. Open up your camera.
You can directly open your camera.
Yeah.
Once you are allowed. To the operator, you can get ready to take the screenshot.
Oh, it's too bad that we have a technical problem. So the attendants can open their camera because the only who can open up the camera is only panelists, I guess.
Oh.
There's a technical problem again, I guess. It's okay.
Okay.
Maybe we can just take a picture of both of us.
Okay.
with all these people. It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, let's
Okay. With your count, you'll have.
Okay. Let's just take the screenshot to all of the participants or panelists who can open up your camera. Please open your camera up to Arya
for the
dulu,
panelists.
Panitia Kahut, Patur Panitia, or anyone who are able to open your camera.
To open camera.
Please.
Yeah. We are waiting to you open up your camera.
To the operator that with you.
Okay.
Please
I think,
ask them to open their camera.
okay, operator.
Is there any struggle as well?
Yeah, I think we can start. Okay, the panelists.
We have first panitia.
We have one first. I need.
Please open up your
Okay.
camera.
Okay. Maybe if we don't want to wait too long, we can start the. Yeah, because I'm sure that people have some other activities after the
Yes, I
event.
guess so. Okay, let's
Okay.
just allow. What about allow to on all the attendees,
Okay.
but without open up their camera?
Okay, it's okay. You can just start, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, you have the count is yours. You can count.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 2.
3,
Okay, hi.
2, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, the same time. Okay.
Okay.
Another pose, I guess.
Yes.
Which pose? It's up to you.
Let's do this one more
Okay,
time.
love pose.
Hello.
Okay. And you count 1, 2, and 3. Okay.
Thank you so much for all the panelists
Yeah.
and attenders.
Thank you
this
so
webinar
much.
today.
Thank you so much for your attendance, dear audience, speakers, ladies and gentlemen, for your presence, participation, and contribution to the success of this event. Hopefully, we are blessed until and after the session. I mean, like, God bless you for all of us, and thank you so much for Ilham and another panelist, I guess. Do you want to say something to additional?
Yes, I guess it's enough. Let's just end this webinar because I think there will be another class, right?
Yeah, me too. I mean, like, we are all, I guess, from BAB. Thank you so much. You can leave the Zoom, dear participants.